Will Man City be the top club in the world? Let's see. Manchester City is among the most successful teams in England in terms of the number of trophies they have won. The Blues' performances from January to December have been incredibly steady in recent times. With 29 major domestic and European awards, they are fifth on the list of most decorated teams in England. Man City's recent successes have given fans hope that they will soon be the best club in the world. Let's explore the journey that Man City took to become the best club in the world. Background history of Man City. Manchester City Football Club is a Manchester-based English football team that plays in the Premier League, the country's premier division. Streetmarks, a football club founded in 1880, changed its name to Ardwick Association Football Club in 1887 and then to Manchester City in 1894. By winning the second division in 1899, City earned its first distinctions and were immediately promoted to the first division, the top division in English football. The Blues went on to win their first major trophy on April 23, 1904, defeating Bolton Wanderers 1-0 at Crystal Palace to win the FA Cup. Although finishing second in the league that season, they narrowly missed winning the league and cup double, becoming the first team in Manchester to do so. In the 1930s, Manchester City made it to back-to-back FA Cup finals, losing to Everton in the first one before overcoming Portsmouth to win it in the second. When 84,569 fans filled Main Road for a sixth-round FA Cup match against Stoke City, the club smashed the record for the largest home attendance of any team in English football history, which stood until 2016. In spite of leading the competition in goals scored, the club was demoted after winning the First Division Championship for the first time in 1937. 20 years later, in 1955 and 1956, a City squad using the Revy plan as a guide made it to consecutive FA Cup finals. As in the 1930s, they lost the first one to Newcastle United and won the second. The Blues defeated Birmingham City 3-1 in the 1956 championship game. The management duo of Joe Mercer and Malcolm Allison was chosen in the summer of 1965. Mike Summerby and Colin Bell were significant additions that season as Manchester City won the second division title under Mercer. 2 seasons later, in 1967-68, City won the league title for the second time, defeating their near neighbors Manchester United to the crown with a 4-3 victory at Newcastle United on the final day of the campaign. Thereafter, City won several trophies, including the FA Cup in 1969 and the European Cup Winners' Cup in 1970, defeating Gornik Sabres by a score of 2-1. This will be the club's sole European honor as of 2022. The Blues became the second English team to win a European medal and a domestic title in the same season, when they also won the League Cup that year. Throughout the 1970s, the team remained a title contender, twice coming only 1 point behind the league champions and making the 1974 League Cup final. The final game of the 1973-74 season versus arch-rival Manchester United, which Manchester City needed to win to have any chance of avoiding relegation, is one of the games from this time that Manchester City supporters remember most fondly. Dennis Law, a former United player, scored a backheel goal to give City a 1-0 victory at Old Trafford and secure their opponent's relegation. When Newcastle United lost 2-1 in the League Cup final in 1976, the club's most prosperous era ended with the club winning its final prize. Under John Bond, Man City advanced to the 1981 FA Cup final, but fell to Tottenham Hotspur after a replay. The club was twice demoted from the First Division in the 1980s, in 1983 and 1987, but Peter Reid's leadership brought them back in 1989, and they finished sixth in 1991 and 1992. This was only a brief respite, though, as Manchester City's fortunes continued to decline after Reid left. The Premier League's co-founders, City, struggled for 3 seasons until being relegated in 1996 after finishing 9th in the league's inaugural season. The Abu Dhabi United Group bought Man City in August 2008. After the takeover, high-profile players became the target of a flurry of offers. The club broke the British transfer record by paying £32.5 million to Real Madrid for the Brazilian international Robinho. Despite the increase in funding, the team's performance did not significantly improve from the previous season, with them finishing in 10th place, though they did well to go to the UEFA Cup quarterfinals. The club spent an unprecedented amount on transfers during the summer of 2009. The club spent over £100 million on players such as Gareth Barry, Roque Santa Cruz, Kolo Touré, Emmanuel Adebayor, Carlos Tevez, and Joleon Lescott, that season setting a record for transfer spending. Following seasons of continued player investment, performances started to catch up to the improvement in player quality. After overcoming rivals in the Manchester Derby, Manchester United, in the semi-final, City advanced to the FA Cup final in 2011, their first major final in more than 30 years. The Blues won the FA Cup for the fifth time, their first major trophy since the 1976 League Cup, after defeating Stoke City 1-0 in the championship game. With a 1-0 victory over Tottenham Hotspur in the penultimate Premier League game that same week, the club earned a spot in the UEFA Champions League for the first time since 1968. City defeated Arsenal for third place on the final day of the 2010-11 campaign, securing automatic entry into the Champions League group stage. Major achievements: the club won 3 Manchester Cups prior to the 1904 FA Cup, which was their first significant prize. The 1936-1937 season saw them win their first top division league championship, while the first Charity Shield was won in August of the same year. At the conclusion of the 1969-70 campaign, City won both the League Cup and the European Trophy. With 7 league victories, Manchester City holds the record for most second division titles. Their most recent victory came in 2001-2002, with their first coming in 1898-99. City won the Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, and Community Shield in addition to other major English honours in the 2018-19 season, making them the first team to do so. The club has competed on 12 occasions for England in the European Cup, which is now the Champions League, and on 7 occasions in the UEFA Cup, which is now the Europa League. Though the lone European Championship won by Man City is the 1970 Cup Winners' Cup, they have advanced to the Champions League semi-finals 3 times, participating in the 2021 final for the first time. Man City also became the UEFA runners-up in the 2020-2021 season. The club has won 6 Premier Leagues since 2011. They won the Premier League trophy in 2013, 2017, 2018, 2020 and 2021, of which 4 were won under the Spanish coach Pep Guardiola. Without a doubt, Pep Guardiola led his team to another Premier League championship in 2021 against all-time rival Man United. The team under his leadership showed equal poise in all areas of the field. Man City also made records of transfer fees. The Blues paid Aston Villa a record transfer price of £100 million in August 2021 to acquire Jack Grealish. They acquired Leroy Sané for a record-breaking £54.8 million from Bayern Munich in July 2020. According to Comprehensive Performance Statistics, Manchester City is ranked second in the Premier League. 3 members of the team are among the top 10 players. Manchester City, in our opinion, will triumph and hold the top spot in 2023. Let's see what happens. Don't forget to share your opinion on the video. Will Man City become the top club in the world? Well, there are many more possibilities. Please stay with us for the next video. Thank you for watching.